Well, good afternoon and welcome to Ed's Orchids. Now, I'm going to deal with some Phalaenopsis today, and the two in front of you needs repotting. You might not see it on the video, but the leaves are becoming a little bit multi-coloured green, if you know what I mean. No yellow, but they're just sort of aging a little bit. So some of them are losing that lustrous shine, so I think it's about time they got repotted. I see ones in and bud there with just one little bud on the end, but we'll not bother about that. It shouldn't do it any harm. So we'll talk a little bit about these Phalaenopsis. These are the species, hybrids of the species. There's over 50 of these in the plant and many more hybrids. And to my mind, it all depends on your personal likes and dislikes. The ones I like, species and hybrids of them, are the Phalaena and its hybrids. Now you might think otherwise, and you undoubtedly do so, but you know, you might like Violaceae or Schilleriana, but to me it's got to be the Phalaena. So these are Phalaena crosses, I think. I'll have a look at the labels before I take them out. Now, virtually every Phalaenopsis is one of the most suitable plants for growing in your home, because they like warm conditions. They don't really mind the amount of light they get. They like shade, but they're suitable for all different types of light levels, to which they'll adapt to it, and they never require a rest period, or at least most of them don't, but some of them, there are a few exceptions. Now in nature, all Phalaenopsis grow as epiphytes, and although you hardly ever see them mounted, this, you know, to everybody's mind, should be the way to grow them. But they're difficult, and there's more attention needed when they're mounted. You know, you've got to water them and make sure they don't go dry too long, but they're much easier potted up, because they'll have been grown that way. You know, you generally get them with a sphagnum plug right in the middle, and they've been like that ever since they were seedlings. So I grow all mine in pots. Now, what to grow them in? Well, they grow in a number of medias, which will be either organic or inorganic, but it always should be quick drying and should have dried out completely in, I think, 7 to 8 days. So that's just telling you that you've got a quick drying media which will not hold any stagnant water. But that's not saying you shouldn't let them dry out completely. So just a couple of days dryness before you water them again shouldn't do them any harm. Now, a lot of people ask me, what do I do with them after they've flowered? Well, you all know about cutting the spike up the nodes somewhere or other, you know, so hoping they'll flower from the node where you've cut just above it. But also, if you reduce the water, if you put 50% less water into the plant for about a month, that will help them to reflower. So to sum up on these plants, they like shady conditions, warm temperatures, and they also like a high nitrogen feed. And I'm sure I've said it before, that a study had been done on fertiliser for these plants, and it was found that nitrogen gave the plant a bigger and quicker growth, coupled with more abundant, larger blooms. And now we'll just get together and we'll just get these potted up. Well, the first one I'm going to repot is definitely a Phalaena. It's Phalaenopsis Phalaena green. Absolutely gorgeous, them, to my mind. So we'll just take out of its pod. It's got plenty of growth in it. You can see the roots are absolutely fabulous. But this leaf is dying off, so I think I'll remove that one. But let's have a look in the pot. I mean, I watered them yesterday, so they should be pretty wet through. And I forgot what I planted these in. I know it's bark, it's an organic material. I wonder if there's any Phalaenopsis, any sphagnum in it. Oh, it doesn't look like it. There you are, it's all run off. One or two dead roots, as you can see. Just get the camera and then you can have a good look. There we go, we've got the scissors now. We'll start snipping away at it. Up as close as I can to the top. That's broken off there, so we'll just knit it above it. And anyhow, I'll do that. I'll clean it all up and I'll come back to you. And you might note that I'm not using any bleach or whatever people use to sterilise things in. I've never sterilised anything in my life, and I've never had any trouble. I've got no mealybug, I've got no scale, I've got nothing like that. Well, I've cleaned all the dead roots off now, and just look at the length of this one. So that's definitely going to get chopped off. Excuse me. Well, I've cleaned its pot out, and this is the bark I'm using. It's new medium-sized bark with some charcoal and some perlite. So that's all I'm going to put in. I'm not putting any sphagnum in at all because there was none in this last time, so I'm not going to put any in again. Anyhow, I'll put this camera back on the tripod and we'll get this potted up. Well, before I pot it up, I'm going to take this leaf off. It's all jagged at the end and looking a bit dry, and I'm going to take that one off as well. So it'll just leave me with 3 leaves on, but they'll be nice leaves. Look much nicer. And I think it will encourage more leaves to grow. Well, I've got the leaves off now, and they were looking a little bit dry at the end, so they weren't going to do any good for long. So I've removed them and hopefully they'll be fine. See how far the roots go down. Well, they almost go down to the bottom. I think I can do it from there. So we'll just get a handful, a bit of everything. Just drop it on top. Give it a shake. It'll all drop in. I mean, I could cut 1 or 2 of these aerial roots off, but there's not much point in doing that. Well, this will give me the sort of medium I want. You know, the medium bark and the perlite and the charcoal, just for a little bit of sweetener. And I think with not putting any moss in, it will allow this media to last a lot longer. So this should be in for at least 12 months. It'll get all the aeration it needs because it's a pot full of holes. So we don't need much more doing to this. doesn't matter if there's any roots exposed because they are epiphytes. There's mud on there, isn't there? Yeah, so anyhow, I'll prop that up after. So we'll put the label back in, then we'll give it a watering, but first I'll take the other one out of its spot. Probably need a little bit more mix as well. Well, the other plant I'm going to repot is this Phalaenopsis Zeng Min Rainbow. And I've just checked up. This has just got 6.25% of Phalaena in it. And it's got a myriad of other plants in its ancestry. So I'll not go through that. I'll just say there is a bit of Phalaena in it. Got some nice roots on, all with nice growing tips. So we'll just get this out of its pot and see what this was potted in. Right, we'll just take it out of its pot. Like before, this will have one or two leaves to come off, and it will also have some dead roots in it probably. Yeah, I can see a few now. Well, they look very dry, but this was only watered yesterday. Oh, this has got some polystyrene in it as well. A lot of roots dropping off, look. They're dropping off as I'm taking it out of the pot. So we'll just clean this one up as I did before. And I don't think there's as many bad roots on this, although they're a funny colour. So I'll get rid of a few of them anyhow, it won't do it any harm. Well, we've got this all cleaned up now. I've taken all the dead roots off. The only thing I haven't taken off is a little bit of polystyrene here that the roots grown through. I've clipped everything off up here as best I can, and I've also taken a couple of leaves off this one as well. So we'll try that in the pot, and that goes right down to the bottom. But it looks a bit easier than the other. We've got the same mix, you know, the medium white, the perlite and the charcoal. So we'll just pour this in. Give it a tapping so it gets round to the other side as well. I think it's probably best not to water these, not for at least a couple of days, just to get them used to being repotted. Bit difficult to repot these Phalaenopsis with these big leaves. A bit of charcoal back in. There we are. Yep, that should be fine. That's Phalaenopsis Zeng Min Rainbow. So I'll just put those back in the house. Thank you very, very much for watching. Thanks to all my subscribers. They've been very, very generous to me. And until next time, I'll see you all later. Bye.